I'm Aria.
I'm Axial.
And this is the Axial and Aria Show.
Hi, I'm Axial.
I'm Aria.
Well, welcome back to the AA show. Before we begin talking about our topic today, which is going to be way interesting, at least on Aria's side instead of mine, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching our last episode one, or not one, this is episode one, episode 0, kind of introduction of everything, and appreciate all the people that watched the whole almost 20 minutes of us being idiots and rambling about so many unnecessary things because we were nervous.
Yes, we were.
Alrighty, well, to kind of introduce, I just had a thought of Taeyeon going, my introduce. So to introduce today's episode, like I said, it's episode 1. So this is our first official episode. I can't talk. Great. So today we're going to talk about some K-pop men and possibly women, depending, and just discuss a lot of things about why we like them, because God forbid we talk about anything else. So I don't have any questions prepared because, preparation is not my forte. But I thought we can kind of just go into like our top 5 groups and then, the people that we stand the most and kind of why. And then
like our main biases or whatever.
Yeah, bias records, and see where that leads. Because I'm sure it'll lead into some rabbit hole that I'll go down. If you would like to start, who's your favorite group?
I have 2. NCT and 17. Those are my top 2. And then honestly, it just like tumbles down and there's like no specific order. But exactly, it's a rabbit hole, so it's like
you'll never get out of it.
It just keeps growing. It just keeps getting deeper.
Yeah.
So obviously BTS is on the list. Monster X
better be, or we wouldn't be friends.
I mean, duh. Damn, I drew a blank. Astro.
I mean, you named 4, so you're at 5 now.
There. And then so it's a bigger list, so.
I mean, I don't think there's really any K-pop fan that has just one group that they pay attention to. Most of them are multis to some extent, even if it's not like full, like following, like kind of on the. See, already I'm at a tangent. On a side note, for me, like there's some groups that I definitely listen to their music but have no like connection to.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of them, but not in the way that like I'm a fan of most of the groups. So I feel like there's a lot of people out there that they're like, okay, like there's just this one group that I like stan completely, and then like everyone else, I'm like, yeah, their music's great, kind of thing. But after that tangent, my top 5 groups, surprise, BTS is my number 1 group. They're the group, I mean, technically they're the first group that I ever paid attention to that got me into K-pop. But after that, it have to be ATEEZ and Stray Kids at number 2. They're always switching off and on, so I can't really like 2 or 3.
I forgot about ATEEZ.
Oh God, don't let Patty watch this. She'll be mad at you. She'll be mad you forgot her mans. But after that, it'd probably be Monsta X, except one person, but he's going off to the military, so it doesn't matter. And out of sight, out of mind. What am I at? 4, 3?
I don't know.
4.
I'm not counting.
Let's see. Who else do I got? 7. I completely forgot about GOT7. They're definitely above Monsta X, so we're gonna repeat that. It's BTS, AT Stray Kids, GOT7, Monsta X. That means I'm missing one. I guess 17. I mean, I listen to them more than a lot of the groups that I listen to, but I definitely
They're not like
they're up there with like I know their names. That's my basis of my list.
Have you put their faces to the
No.
name? Not yet. Okay.
I still have the only 7 of them that I'm like 100% on. Everyone else, I'm just like, it usually is my second guess, which,
Mhm.
when we eventually get to our 3 gremlins from hell topic, we'll explain why it is
Yeah.
like that. But to go off of that, we've listed our top 5. I mean, I guess we can go into biases. And, if you can't tell, I'm a Yoongi simp. I mean, I dyed my hair because of the most recent music video because I have problems, which probably should be clinically studied at this point. From ATEEZ, it is Hongjun, and you'll very quickly learn a pattern here as I'm going down this list. The last 2 may surprise you though. Actually, 3 of them will surprise you. It's like a half and half. It's a perfect. And then Stray Kids is Bangchan.
Forgot about Stray Kids. Oh my god.
You're just
I'm tired.
the stands are gonna come for you. I know. You just got off work too. Who else did I say? GOT7 is J-Bum. This is where you'll notice a new pattern. 17 or Monsta X is Hyungwon, and then 17 is Minghao. So I have a nice mix of like mostly rappers and mostly vocalists. Not even mostly vocalists. Those 3 vocalists are the only vocalists I stand. Everyone else I stand is a rapper because I have a problem again. And your turn now.
That's better. So in NCT, as we all know, there's 23 members, soon to be 24 with freaking NCT Hollywood, apparently.
Hey, just like that tweet I saw, now you'll have a member to stand for every hour of
Each
the
hour
day.
of the day. I
Because
saw that.
there's nothing else you're doing in your life.
No. So it's a big one. So my top one is Jaehyun, obviously. And then it's followed
I like
by,
how you say obviously, like these people know us.
well, they're gonna get to know me.
It's gonna be
So-
like episode 100. Reference back to episode 1. If you guys recall.
So it's Jaehyun, and then it's Johnny. Those are like my top 2, but like Jaehyun's at the top. And then there's Yuta.
I like that. Man.
He's dangerous. Let me adjust. I thought I was okay. I'm not. Okay. So Yuta, and then there's Zhao Jun from Wavy, their subunit. And then there's Henry. It's a long list. Literally almost everybody except for like the babies.
Yeah.
I've read fan fictions about all of them except for the babies, so there's that. And
I mean,
then
I don't think you really lived this life without at least coming across fan fiction at least once.
if you don't know what fan fiction is, leave. Get out.
All right, just alienate some of our people.
I'm kidding. Please stay.
We have 7 subscribers and they're all gone because they don't know what fan fiction is. One of them is me, so I'll be the only one that's saying, just kidding, I don't subscribe to myself. That's a little weird.
And then in 17, it's June, Hoshi,
Okay. That I'm gonna make a meme out of that. I'm gonna hold up my just the awkward.
Woozy, obviously.
Woozy was my starting. I started with Woozy, and that the only reason is I could only identify him because he's so small. And I was like, I like him because he's the only one that I know.
I had no other option, and we'll get to that when we discuss our 3 gremlins. I had no other option but to go with Wizzy. And
I mean,
listen,
Sam, to be honest.
I'm not saying like oh, it was the only no, I'm not saying it like that. It's just like
You'll understand when we get to the 3 gremlins. There's a whole
Which I mean,
Dang.
Woozy is the short king, so
Can relate.
so
And
there's
Shorty's
that.
got to stick together. He's
And
only an inch
then
taller than me, so
he's 2 inches taller than me. Anyways, so there's that, and then there's I think my favorite is Mingyu because I always find myself just drawn to him.
mhm.
And then
He's got a nice Adam's apple. It's understandable.
there's freaking Joshua and Vernon and Dino. Yeah, that's it from them.
Just casually names like half the group, just
You're
like
the-
with NCT.
You're gonna notice a trend. Who else
Arya
did I
just
say?
sims for everybody
I'm
except babies.
Yes. I have a limit. Like if you are like 2, 3 years younger than me, it's a no-go. You are baby. I will only see you as baby. And that is it.
That's how I felt for a really long time about ATs with Jungho, because he was not like he was crazy much younger than me, but I'm like, baby. That's how I feel about TXT, even though Hyuni Kai is of age now. I'm like, you are child. Please
You are baby.
stop doing your concepts. You're not allowed.
So there's that. And then in Monster X, it's Juhan. His Jingsu. And then it's also like Kihyun and Youngwon.
Excuse me, no, just kidding.
And then Wano.
Our fallen brother.
A prayer for you.
Everybody put F in the chat, in the comments. One like, one respect. Nobody does it. I will cry. I'll make fake accounts to pretend. Okay, we need comments.
Who else did I say?
I don't even remember it. Honestly,
Me
you were talking
neither.
about 17, and I was like, did I actually say Ming Hao or did I say somebody else? Because I don't remember if I said him for 17, and I feel
you
like
said
I
Ming
do.
Hao.
Okay,
You
because
did,
literally
you did.
you said Mingyu, and my brain was like, did you say Mingyu or did you say Ming Hao? And I was like, literally, you're talking, and I'm like, what did I say? Like inner monologue. Like if you can hear my brain, it was literally like, did I say Ming Hao? Like, come on.
BTS, I'm OT7. I love all of them equally. It started with Jimin, and then honestly, it just
I think
flourished
it
into
always
more of a
starts
yeah.
with Jimin. I mean, my parents, they're obsessed with him. It's great.
He's a force to be reckoned with.
He gets everybody. I mean,
Yeah, he does.
you can't look. I mean, not saying that the rest of them aren't beautiful, but like he just has that aura about him. It's like a fishing hook. Like he gets you, and you're just like,
Yeah.
dang, who are these people again? I mean, hell, look at anytime they perform in America for like a talk show or anything, most of the trending hashtags are always like, who's the guy in this jacket? Same with Taeyong. It's always them that they're like, who was that guy in the green jacket? And we're like,
do you remember when it was his hair? He's like, who's the guy with, I forgot what color it was. Wasn't it blue? Who's the guy with the blue hair?
I think so, yeah. Because I think the most recent one with Taeyong was like he was wearing a green jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know when they did New Year's Eve, it was like, who's the guy that like got his jacket caught on his head while they were performing? And I'm just like, those two. They're just like, they're like succubi or incubi. I don't know which one's which. I don't really care.
One of the two.
I know one's a man, one's a woman. I don't remember which is which.
Isn't one receiving and one giving?
No, the only difference between incubi and succubi are male or female. And I'm pretty sure incubi are male and then succubi are female. Presenting at least. there's a lot of lore about like how they show up differently. But if I remember correctly, succubi are women.
That makes sense.
Totally random, but okay. Is one of them giving? No, they both just kill you.
I don't remember who else I said, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it later.
Well, I highly doubt we won't.
We-
Like, oh, this guy.
Oh, it was this group that I said.
Yeah. I just can't believe you forgot about ATs and Stray
Well,
Kids.
in ATs, it's Songhwa. And
He also gives off a very him and Woo Young. They're both like Jimin and Taeyong. Everyone's always asking about them.
also Hongjoong.
Yeah, Hongjoon always, but that's because his hair's always crazy and people are like,
No, I
what the
mean
heck?
like I'm in love with Hongjoong. Like, oh, I said Astro. I said Astro.
Astro, yeah.
I said Astro. Lately, I've been in my Moonbin feels. I don't know why, but
I don't know enough. I like their music. I don't know enough about them. I really like how unique a lot of their names are. Not that there's really a lot of commonalities with a lot of names in K-pop from what I've
Mhm.
noticed. There's a lot of like very different
Diversity.
names. Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of different names. Even if it's just like a stage name, there's still a lot of diversity with the names, which I think is pretty cool because you get a lot of like in American and like, or I'll just say English entertainment is a lot of like Chris's and Jacobs and Stevens, and it gets to be like, I mean, like hell, they have that whole like, oh, do you know about the Chris? And it's like, which one? Chris Pine, Chris Evans, and you're just like, do you not pick a
Hemsworth.
new name? Like Chris is not the only name in the book. But I like the different. I mean, like there's a lot of common names. Like you got Taeyong, and then like I think from NCT
There's
it's
different.
Taeyong.
There's different variations in how
Yeah.
like spellings of it. Like Taeyong, it's Taeyoung.
Mhm.
That's NCT.
NCT.
It's NCT. I was gonna say NCT. And I wouldn't be wrong anyways. That's NCT, and then there's Taeyong from BTS, and then there's Taeyeon from TXT.
And you got like Taeil, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities. I think the only same name that I can think of is Jimin from BTS, and then Jimin from a girl group that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know there's one.
AOA. There's also
Oh, there's one in
soloist.
AOA.
There's
No.
also a soloist named Jimin. She was in Daniel King's recent music video, I think.
swear there was another one.
She was the one that I'm thinking of. She was part of JYP for a while.
That's probably
And then-
that's probably who I'm thinking of then, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's JYP.
Yeah, I think she was on some like reality show. Pretty Rap Star or something. I don't know. I have no
I'm
idea.
gonna be honest though, the only reason I know about Jimin from AOA is because of her whole scandal that she had last year. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I thought AOA was a new group and was very confused when like that whole scandal broke, when they're like, she's been allegedly bullying the members for 10 years. I'm like, didn't they just like debut? Like, what do you mean? I genuinely thought they were a new group because their music didn't sound like older K-pop. It sounded very new to me.
Yeah.
So I was very confused, despite watching videos where it clearly stated the date. I just never paid attention.
I think and I haven't watched it in all its like in its entirety. I think they were the ones who came out with miniskirt, which is like revolutionized.
Yeah,
something.
well, because I mean, it brought a lot of. It took like the girl group concept out of like that cutesy, like
like that
like
cutesy
schoolgirl-esque type thing,
And
because I mean they did that whole like roll hip and then they unzipped the skirt a little bit on the side, so it became kind of asymmetrical. And I know they got a lot of
Hate for
backlash
it.
about that
Yeah.
because they couldn't perform that specific part on stage on like the music shows and everything, which I think, which is why I got confused on the dates, because it's still kind of like that there's still some or a lot of choreo, not just male but female as well, that most like music shows won't allow them to perform, or they can't perform specific like lyrics and stuff because of restrictions on what's being.
The censorship and stuff,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
But there's censorship everywhere, except unfortunately in America. I think we need more censorship personally. Get rid of some of these Nazis. But that's a topic for another day.
So yeah. What were we talking about before this?
Before our names and why we liked specific people from these groups.
With NCT, I was actually biasing Haechan first.
It's Haechan.
It's Haechan. Thank you very much.
I know, I was being sarcastic.
So was I.
I got to bring up some TikTok drama because, you know, TikTok's the only social
Source of
media platform that matters anymore.
The only source of entertainment we have.
Yeah, except if you looked at any of the things we looked at, it's 90% Jujutsu Kaisen. So again, another topic for another day.
Next episode.
Next episode, anime men. Why we simp for 2D men, because 3D men let us down. Except our K-pop boys.
The only men I trust.
The only men you trust are on the other side of the world.
And don't know I exist.
Yeah, well.
So it started with Haechan.
Mhm.
And then I went to their concert back in like 2019, I think it was.
Sure,
yeah, it was 2019. It was, yeah, they came here to Arizona. And I went, and after I went to their concert, that's when I like got more into them, because I was like barely started getting into K-pop in like early 2019, and I was like, ooh, K-pop concert, let me go. So I went. I took my brother with me. I took Ivan with me. Yeah.
How was that?
Literally, when the concert started, he was like, BTS.
Oh, Ivan.
And I was like,
child.
I grabbed him and I like forcefully sat him down, and I was like, this is the wrong group. Those are the wrong letters. This is NCT. He's like, he listens to them every once in a while. He's like, he actually like listens to them.
That's cool. I just force everybody to listen to K-pop. If you're in my car, K-pop. You don't get a choice.
And after the concert, like I got more into them and I started like paying more attention to them. And I think Wakey Wakey was my first comeback. And that's when I noticed Jaehyun and all his beauty. And I was like, that one right there. He's the one. And I've been hooked on him ever since. And then as I got more into the group, that's when I like started noticing the other members like Johnny, Yuta, and then Wavy happened, and I was like, ooh, more people. And that's when Zhao Jun came along. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll do my best to fix it, unlike certain people. And then actually in Make-A-Wish, I have a little clip, and it's like I had to screen record it, and it's like my favorite clip because it's like his part, and he's looking at the camera.
Was him?
That was
that
him.
You showed me?
That was him. The one in the with the yellow hair.
Faces except two of them.
That's fine.
And one of them I dislike, so I gotta know him just in case he comes up behind me, because you know that's possible.
Yes. Yes, he's
so
gonna.
Disappointed.
I was about to call you by your real name. Oh my
I mean,
God.
it's fine. I did it in the last episode by accident.
Yeah, so like that clip, I just have it and I just go back and like I watch it repetitively because he's like smiling at the camera and then he like turns away, but as he turns away, he's just smirking. It's beautiful. I love it. I'm hooked.
I was better at video editing, I'd probably include it, but I'm not. So look it up.
These entertainment companies know what their target audience is. It's sad, lonely bitches like me. And they know how to work it. They know how to use what they got.
I mean, that's good though. You got to keep your target audience interested. If you didn't, they wouldn't be successful.
Yes. If it weren't for me, their lights would be off.
I don't know about that.
They would have no place to live.
Only
when
Arya.
When I say me, I mean the whole like fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, me specifically, I'm the one who's buying all the albums and paying their bills and shit.
Yeah, because you can buy albums so often.
I can't buy albums right now, not like I could anyways, because in my closet I have a Winnie the Pooh box, and that's where I have like some of my stuff, and like some of my light sticks, and then on top of that, because I have no more room in there, I have my NCT light stick on top of that, and then in one of my old shoe boxes I have my EXO light stick. You gotta keep these things protected, okay? It's in an old shoebox, and it's actually doing pretty well. I'm just waiting for EXO to announce their world tour so I can, you know. and then in one of my
Anybody
drawers,
else, it looks like you're knocking on their door. If like nobody knew that was like you waving a light stick, they'd be like, "You're gonna what? Like show up?" Technically, yes.
In one of my dresser drawers, I have my BTS light stick. I'm Bong. I have my light teeny. I have a few albums. And then under the desk right now, I still have my Mod 7 albums just in their box. And then I also have my my NCT Neo Zone albums in there, and they're still. I have my my Hangare albums, my signed Hangare albums. Let me flex on people real quick. I know I'm not the only one, but I have my signed Hangare albums there too.
You're better off than I do. I don't have any signed albums.
I spent my birthday money on it from last year.
Wanted signed albums. The only downside is the only group that I really want signed albums from don't do signed albums.
Is it BTS? Yeah. Those would sell out really quickly.
I mean, I got floor seats to the BTS concert. I think I got a little bit of luck.
Is that for the Chicago show or for the Rose Bowl?
For Rose Bowl. The concert I'm going to by myself. My first BTS concert and I ain't got no friends.
You're gonna go to that one, and then you're also gonna go to the Chicago one, right? Mm-hmm. Me and Patty.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Speaking then I think those are like the stadium seats.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
I don't want to stand. I'm sorry. I love you, but I don't want to stand.
I mean, there's seats on the floor.
There are? Damn, when me, Patty, and the other two gremlins, when we went to 17.
17 is not BTS.
I mean, you're right, but still, we had sound check, and then we had pit. Mm-hmm. My feet were hurting afterwards. People were rude. There was this one guy, and if he's watching this, I hope he feels bad. I hope he feels bad.
I highly doubt he's watching this.
Well, if he ever does come across this, I hope he feels bad. But this bitch was tall as He was tall. He was really tall. And he had a Saquon, like he had Saquon's head, like one of those like posters, of his head. And he was tall and he was holding it like this. So you can imagine how hard it was for a short person like me and Patty to watch the concert, the freaking walkway of these members.
Can't relate.
I've
Not
never
because
wanted
I'm tall, but because I've not gone to a K-pop concert. Most of the concerts I've gone to are like standing room only kind of venues, and like if you want to get close, you just got to use your elbows and move to the front. So I'm used to those kinds of concerts, like mosh pit type concerts.
My first K-pop concert was NCT, and then 17 was my second one, and then BTS is gonna be probably my third one. We were supposed to go to Monster X, but I was only gonna get cheap tickets. I didn't want to meet them. I love them, but I didn't
just
want to meet
wanted to
them.
meet them to ignore one of them because I'm equal.
I would have been like high-fiving all of them and then just getting to him and be like,
You're like,
no, thank
oh,
you.
too slow. Bye.
No thanks. I'm okay.
Sorry, I don't need your lack of respect women juice to rub off on me.
But before that, my first official concert was a Christian concert. It was outdoors and it was at Grand Canyon University. So I toured a college campus.
I did too in high school.
I didn't do that in high school.
I went because it meant I didn't have to be in school. So
can't relate.
My first official concert was One Direction. I went with my mom.
I begged my mom to let me go see One Direction live, and she said no.
She straight up
said,
just froze in the
no.
worst position possible.
Oh,
You're all
not
like,
again. Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Oh God. It's always me. This is how it's gonna go until I get better Wi-Fi or something.
It's
until
okay.
I get Cox.
I have Cox and sometimes it still messes up. There was a part earlier that I watched myself like stutter, so I was like literally talking and moving, and I was still like, I was like, okay, go off.
No, so I begged her. I was like, can you please get me concert tickets to the One Direction concert? She said no. But you know who did get to go? That one bitch from church I didn't like. That's a whole nother story.
That's for our religious trauma segment.
I hated that girl. If she ever sees this.
Do you think these people are just like checking up on you, like stalking you?
I don't know, maybe. Listen, you may not think you're important enough for people to stalk you, but you never know.
I know I'm not important enough for people to stalk me. I post like once a month.
I post like
and
once
it's
a
my
year.
dog.
My Instagram feed is dry. Well, not my feed. My is. Ugh. Anyways.
Okay. Anyways, any other people you would like to tell us that you bias? Or are you good? I think you got all of your people, but I don't remember. Because you talked about NCT 17, Astro, AT, Stray Kids.
I didn't talk about Stray Kids.
Monster X. Oh yeah, you didn't talk about Stray Kids.
Bangchan, Changbin, Lino.
I mean, same, but that was a very beautiful second repetition.
I mean, Bang Chan and Changbin are great. I love them. Don't get me wrong. They work hard. I love them. But Lino's beautiful.
I mean, you're not wrong. They're really good at finding very attractive people. And it's not fair. Like, sharing the wealth, guys. Come on. Send some my way. Like, what is this?
I was watching a TikTok the other day and it just reminded me of how lonely I was. I was like, damn.
You
I
want to
need a
know a fun
boyfriend.
fact about Arya? She sends me like 4 TikToks a week about how lonely she is. So this isn't anything new.
I send you TikToks about a lot of things.
Yeah,
But yes,
in
mainly
there
that.
randomly. This made me think I'm lonely. And I'm like, okay, same.
I think we have it covered. If anything, we can come back and be like, hey, remember episode 1? Yeah, well, here's part 2.
Part 2 of episode 1, Men We Simp For. Okay, so I already mentioned Yoongi, and I already mentioned all the people I like. I mean, I guess you can go into kind of like concept wise, like why you like what drew you to them to begin with, like especially if you started off very early in their career and like what's changed if you've continued standing them, because I know like no, none of the groups I like have changed anybody, but yeah, I know you have. I was gonna try and make a reference to myself, and then I realized everybody I have stand since
the beginning.
I have problems. I have commitment issues. Okay, if I like you, I'm stuck. You're stuck. No other. That's it.
You're
no
there.
more commitment issues. That literally sounded so convoluted and hypocritical. I almost said hypocrisy, because commitment issues does not mean you stick with something, but you understand what I'm saying. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. Shoot, I don't know. I'm just a whore.
I mean, same,
Anyways,
but I don't think I would have ever announced that to the internet.
They're gonna find out.
Yeah, but
Well,
not in the
I
first
won't-
episode. I would have given it at least 2. Like, give it some time. We haven't even gotten to anime yet. Like, you've already set yourself up for failure. They're probably going to be like, oh, okay, you know, she likes a lot of K-pop men. And then we get to anime and they're like, oh my God, this person's crazy. But you've already like knocked over the tower.
Listen, it's better to just let it out. Let it out the first time around. And then whenever in the future someone's like, oh my God. And like just like looking at me weird and be like, listen, I told you episode 1, if you stuck with I was like, if you stuck with me, beautiful. I appreciate you. If you decided to leave me after that, you don't get to judge me.
Exactly. You gotta be upfront with your crazy.
Exactly. But I don't remember. Oh, the reason I stand Hechan first was because I had no other option. Like with Woozy, I had no other option. I liked him. Yes, I did. I still do. But I swear, if I ever meet him, it's on site. As for all intended purposes, that is a joke.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. So yeah, and then like I said, it was after their concert and I just like started watching more of their music videos. It was when I watched the Boss MV, and I saw Blonde Jaehyun. I was like,
okay, but me with Yoongi, anytime he goes blonde, I'm like, sir, hello.
For their, oh God, what was it called? their last concert during my birthday weekend.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I just call
Yeah,
it.
me neither.
Just the online concert that's most recent.
Yeah, the most recent online concert. You saw him, and yeah.
On the topic of that concert, I would just like to embarrass Arya for a second. We were watching that and she was very, very tired. And then all of a sudden, Talk came on and she was like, "Hello? Is that Yoongi?" And I was like, "You were just like asleep." Like she was not like in like kind of like awake and asleep, like kind of in between that conscious. No, she was asleep.
I was
And
dead
I've
asleep.
never seen someone wake up so fast to 3 notes of a song that are not that easily identifiable unless you're really listening to it. And we were at a hotel, so you couldn't really hear it as well as we would have liked. So it was definitely beautiful. And I think that's in our vlog, our KPG vlog.
That's in the KPG vlog.
Which is
go
something else
check it
that we're a
out.
part of.
Yes. So if you
At
want to
my
see it,
bestie. Yeah, if you
you
want to
wanna
see it,
go
it's
check it out.
beautiful. You can also hear me talk about how much money I spend on merch because I'm ridiculous. And I saw beautiful men in shirts that I don't wear the color of, but now I'm going to because
they wore it.
yes.
Now you have to wear it.
Hey, Yoongi was in white, and even though I don't wear, oh, my camera's falling. Yoongi wears white. I don't wear white, but I'm going to because he did, and that's all that matters. Who else? Or do you want me to go? I can switch off.
I forgot to talk about EXO.
You forgot a lot of groups.
I forgot a lot of people. Yeah, I forgot a lot of people. Becky, I'm sorry.
I think he'll forgive you.
He doesn't even know me.
Hey, you never know. I'm sure with the tags that I put on this channel, it might pop up somewhere. They all got private accounts, you know.
I know they lurk. Mark lurks. We know Mark lurks. We've been proven that Mark lurks. Anyways,
we know all of BTS lurks. The amount of times they've come out with something or saying something that reference a viral tweet from ARMY, I'm just like, this is why I don't tweet. I don't need them to see anything or me talking about Yoongi's ankles, okay? I love his ankles, and I want to marry him, not in a crazy delusional way, just like a I respect him way. Don't get it mistaken. But hey, he's got nice ankles. Don't disrespect me. Have you seen his ankles? They're beautiful, okay? His existence is beautiful, okay?
Yes, his existence is beautiful. I'm just not paying particular attention to his ankles.
Hey, don't tell me that there isn't a K-pop stan that doesn't act like a man from the 1700s when they see a bare woman's ankles. Anytime there's a slight bit of skin showing because we don't get to see it that often.
With their foreheads.
Yeah, their hands.
Gotta adjust my chair.
Everybody in 17 that has nice Adam's apples, and everybody makes fun of them because I always bring them up.
Listen, they're nice. I don't have them. They're
Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the men that I like and why, because Arya is concerning me. So I'll start with Yoongi. I have been following BTS since 2015. So I don't know. It was just immediately him. It's always been him. I'll die for that man. And that's not a joke. Yoongi, if you see this, I'll do anything. That sounded like a business proposal. I have like my hands crossed on my desk, like, but it's always, I mean, I've definitely changed bias records like through the entire time. Like at first it was Hobie, and now Namjoon and Jungkook are like screwing me up. So
I don't think I have bias records, honestly. I just like everyone.
I say bias, I mean, like I'm OT7 100%, like no, what's it called, solo ist or whatever.
Solo
in
stand.
solo stand in this house we don't accept. But definitely like I definitely jump around with, this sounds very sexual. I jump around with a lot of the other members in BTS. Just and it's not like anything particular. Like, you know, they'll post a Selka and I'll be like, oh my God, that's my man's. And then another one will post a Selka and I'm like, haha, never mind. There he is, the boy. And then Yoongi
They
comes
got
and
you
posts,
feeling some type of way.
yeah. And then Yoongi posts like, excuse you, it's me. And I'm like,
You're like, yes, sir.
Shut up, Yoongi. Don't talk to me. But definitely I have bias wreckers in other groups. Like, as you have heard, like Hongjoon and AT's, his weird mullet with the ropes was immediately what drew me to him.
Was that for Say My Name?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, it was for Wonderland. I know the blue mullet, right?
No, I'm talking about his blonde mullet.
Oh, then that
When he-
was Say My
when-
Name.
Yeah, because his blue mullet, he had it pushed back like this, but his blonde one, he had like the weird bowl cut thing.
That was hot.
I mean, yeah, it was. I wish I could pull off a bowl cut like that, but no, I look stupid. My mullet
Look like
looked
Justin
terrible.
Bieber.
I mean, you saw my yellow mullet crap that was going on. That was a mistake, and I don't know why anyone told me it looked good. They all lied to me. Need new friend applications, please. Tell me I look ugly if I do. But no, anyway, I definitely, Mingi is always gonna be like my bias wrecker. I just like rappers. I don't know. I know. Same.
Welcome back,
Yes.
Mingy.
Welcome back.
Just use that as the thumbnail.
Right. I'll just edit it with our title from the last one. Welcome back, Mingy, instead of saying our show title. But in Stray Kids, for a really long time, I said that I didn't have a bias in there because of the three gremlins, or well, two of the gremlins. The third one I didn't really know. You and Patty knew more than I did. Thank God.
I think you would have
because it would have
fought.
been on. No, it'd have been on site. I still want it to be on site. Like, there's so many situations that me and Patty and Craphead number one have been in where I'm like, I wish you. I hate the voice. I love that she tells me, but like, I know I pressed the button. Anyway,
Recording in progress.
Oh, I literally thought she was speaking again. I was so confused. Anyway, we're back. Had a quick break really quick because cats. We've determined that we were talking about Mingy, and if I watch this back and we weren't, it's fine. Whatever. Who cares? We'll continue talking about Mingy because I love him.
Mingy's important.
He's the best boy, and he deserves to be talked about. But
Mingy, my cup deserves to be talked about.
We can talk about that later. You looked so offended. But yeah, no, definitely rappers are just, it's it for me. And going into Stray Kids.
That's what we were talking
yes.
about. We were talking about how it's on site once you, if
yes,
you were ever to
talking
meet.
about, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll skip that topic for now. But I was beginning to talk about how I always said that I didn't have like a bias in Stray Kids just because there were some people that literally told me I wasn't allowed to bias certain people, which, is weird and possessive over people that don't know you, but sure, go off, whatever. And it really started with Jisung because he's just adorable and I like him. And then, but I've always kind of kept it on the DL, like, Christopher has definitely always had a special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really think there was like a change because I've always like I said, like secretly always been Bangchan. but definitely like publicly, at least to that specific two people. Um, I always said like Jisung, but I like all of them kind of thing.
OT8.
I'm just thankful that I never liked Wu Jail. So
What's
thank
her
God
face
for
like?
that.
What's her face like Wu Jail? And I remember when it was announced that he was leaving the group, that we all like went to McDonald's just to console her.
Couldn't be me.
And then look what happened.
Garbage was taken out. That's what happened.
Yeah.
What else did I say? I'll go into GOT7. Honestly, with GOT7, it jumped around a lot before I kind of settled. I definitely, and I think it was just because of the energy that like Yugyum and Jackson brought. Same with Bam Bam. But like they kind of brought that like just very loud, like eye-catching energy. I don't think I necessarily like biased them. I really enjoyed them, but like definitely at the beginning I was like, okay, like these are the people that I recognize kind of thing. And like I can, anytime I watched anything about them, I was like, oh, okay, I remember them. But Jabum, that man needs to be stopped. I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing. I'm sure all of them do, every K-pop idol. But like, can you not? Like, I am turning 23. I don't need to have a heart attack at 23, please. Thank you.
I think my favorite JB look was in the Lullaby music video, where he's wearing like that blue suit, like with the blue long jacket, the shirt, and like the blue pants. I
Can we
think
just
that's
talk
my
about
favorite.
that for a second? I love all of the versions of the lullaby music, or the dance practice at least. Like
My favorite dance
boyfriend
practice
outfit?
is boyfriend. Yeah, the boyfriend version of it.
I've watched that video so many times.
You're the reason it has so many views.
Right? I'm over here, like, anytime the song comes on, I'm like, because I've watched it so many times, it's ridiculous. Could I ever do a dance from any other group? No. You put on Lullaby, and I can do like 3 parts of the dance. I'm not saying I'm
They
good.
said
You froze. I don't know
or
what you're
something
doing.
like that. Now you're frozen on my
No.
screen.
You came back for me.
You're back now too.
Thank God.
This is just gonna be the episode where we have the most
It's all tech
glitches and
issues. Everybody in my house is home right now, so that's probably the biggest issue. Who did I say? Monsta X. I'll leave 17 for last, just because that's a whole story within itself. But Monsta X, it definitely, like, when I first got into them, I really, really liked Juan and I.M. Like in the beginning, just because I was like, ooh, rappers, ooh, they're cute, ooh, they're like rap aggressively. Like, I like that. It's very, not that it's different, but it's different for the music that they were putting out, I think, personally. Especially since they had so many, like, I don't want to say pretty boys because that sounds kind of derogatory, but they definitely had like that air of model-esque status stage presence, if that makes any sense at all.
it does.
And then they had bodybuilders, and I was just like, this is a whole like conglomerate of mashup.
They said
And
everything in one group.
yeah, they said everything in one, and then there
goes your cam.
No. You get to see all my stickers. But I don't know what happened, to be honest. I really don't. Like, there wasn't like a pinpoint where I was just like, yeah, Hyungwon. And I don't really remember, like, honestly, like, trying to think about it. Like, there was really nothing that I was like, yeah, this is my man's. But he's my man's. Like, he's just perfect. And he's tall. And you know what, actually, you know what it is? You know the video where they all exchanged parts for what song is it? I think it's Fighter. I think that's what it's called. Are you
My foot,
good?
I just moved my foot in a weird way and it just, ow.
Concern.
I'm sitting crisscross in my chair, so oof. Hold on.
Yeah, it is Fighter. See, I know
Mhm.
things. When they exchanged parts and he was doing Juon's part and being adorable about it, I think that's what kind of like clicked, where I was like, hey,
Hey.
hey. And then they came out with Love Killa. Do you know how many times I watched that music video?
Have you watched Gambler?
I don't think so.
I watched it a few days ago. Or over the weekend, I think.
I haven't watched, if they've come out with anything recent, I haven't watched it. I know they had like an album that was coming out where they were like posing on the same place that they did for one of their earlier albums when they did like, it was like Hero or something. I'm really slow on the uptake when things come out unless it's BTS.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I really don't stream anything.
Yeah.
I work too much
Same.
to
Same.
be able to divert something. Unfortunately, I can't have anything like really playing, even if it's muted, just because I'm watched all the time. But no, I don't know, that red leather jacket. I almost bought a $400 leather jacket after watching that music video. You can attest to this. I asked our group chat and was like, should I do this? I asked my mom. Like, that's how serious I was. I don't know if you'll be able to find it. It was a long time ago. Don't expose me. I want a leather jacket. I also want the baby blue leather jacket that Jimin wore and Run. I want that really bad. I've wanted that for a very long time. But finding baby blue leather jackets are very difficult. And not real leather, y'all. Fake leather, faux leather. I don't do that real leather stuff.
No, we animal rights in this house. We're not
Yes.
vegan, we're not vegetarian, we like meat, but animal rights.
Yes, animals should not be made into clothing.
No.
But while
We're gonna
you're
have the vegans coming after us.
that's fine. I don't care. The vegan teacher gonna come on here and do something? She's been banned from most social media. What's she gonna do? Show up at my house? I'll fight her. She ain't
Oh
got.
my god. That Korean barbecue place.
Oh my god, yes.
The one the one TikTok I sent you. And they had like the whole like an actual like good piece of meat.
One day.
One day. We'll go to San Francisco just for that.
I didn't want to go to San Francisco just to see the Golden Gate Bridge, but yes, we'll go to San Francisco just for Korean barbecue, nothing else. Okay, so I guess last but not least, you're frozen again. Oh no, you're nope. Yep, there you are.
You were frozen on my screen too.
It's just gonna be a constant freeze, but because it's recording on my end, it's all just gonna be you frozen and not me. So 17. I struggle. There's so many members, and a lot of them, and don't come at me. It's not like a racist thing where like, oh, all Asians look the same. Not even a lot of them. It's only Mingyu and Juan.
It's Mingyu, Wanu, and DK.
DK I got on lock.
Okay.
I got him. It's literally, what was his name? Wano?
Wanu.
Wanu. I always call him Wano.
I say Wanu because I've heard the members call him Wanu in like
I
their
don't know.
episodes of
WW.
2017.
Let's call him that for right now because I'll accidentally call him Wanho. I do that a lot because of the structure of the name.
Yeah.
But I can never tell them apart. I'm terrible at that. But I don't know. It was just, there was a lot of pressure from two of the gremlins to learn their names and faces. Like I have their names, it's just identifying them. And it wasn't like it's not impossible, but the biggest struggle that I had is that when they would, and they literally would do this, they would test me, um, and not in like a joking kind of like playful way. It was kind of mean, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they would send me old pictures of them, like where they don't look the same at all, and then be
Like debut.
like debut and like maybe first 2-3 years, where now they look, not that people's faces don't change that much, but the hairstyles and the clothing and everything, where like there were some things that were identifiable have completely changed. It just got really difficult to the point where it like kind of disheartened me into even wanting to like them as a group. um and I still do. I still enjoy their music. I still enjoy like watching them. They're so good at synchronization. And I really like watching them dance, just because it's, for that large of a group, it's not an easy feat to be like that in sync. But it definitely started out with Woozy, because at the time he was the only one that I can identify because of his height. Not that there isn't anything good about him. I really enjoy him as a person and like watching him interact with people. Um, Plus he is a good writer, and I always like
You
enjoy.
know, for being a good writer about like love songs and like just like good sad vocal
Mhm.
songs, that man has never had a female friend in his life. He doesn't know how to talk to girls.
I
And
mean,
don't come at me because it's true. It's on his K profile.
mm,
That man
he's
don't know how
definitely
to talk
talked
to
about it
women.
before.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess in a way, not to like romanticize inability to speak to another human being, regardless of gender, but I think it's kind of cute to vocalize feelings about people in the form of a song and be able to connect to feelings based on an understanding of other people and how they've processed things, and being able to create something out of that when your experiences are not necessarily lacking, but definitely not as well experienced as other people may be. Because it's hard to take something that someone has talked about and kind of create something out of that. And I think it's definitely admirable to be able to achieve something like that. But I still love him. He's still short, and I still, anytime I see them, I'm like, oh, there's my man's. But I don't know what it was about Ming Hao, man. I don't know. I don't know. I really like it. Kind of shocked me because I always made the joke about like not liking Vernon.
You mean Zach?
Kyle.
No, have you not seen the
n-
TikTok? They did.
no.
Well, anyways, there was an interview and like or something, and like they were introducing themselves, and it went to Vernon, and he was like, and like without missing a beat, he was like, "Hi, I'm Zach."
Me.
And it took everybody just kind of looked at him like, are you gonna like fix your mistake? And then he kind of like he was like buffering, and he was like, wait, did I just say hi, I'm Zach? And everybody was like, yeah. And then he was like, I mean, hi, I'm Vernon. He's
I mean, it's kind of like that interview that they did though, where they were talking. I don't remember which member it was because I'm terrible. But they were like, introduce yourself, and he's like, I like pizza.
DK. It was DK for
And they're like,
BuzzFeed.
no. But I don't know. I really like. I mean, I I really like Vernon. There is no past tense to that. I think he's an enigma. I think definitely because he comes across as one thing, and that is definitely like kind of guy. Um, but he really is kind of like more of like a soft boy, which I think is it's a fun character to play. Not that I really think it's a character, but that's the only way I can kind of explain it, is that like he has that duality to him, but it's like him, and there isn't a duality. Like he's just a dork that plays up that role in a way from what he's seen about, like, people talking about, or the members bringing up and everything. And I don't know how that transitioned to Ming Hao, and I don't know. I just love Ming Hao. I don't know. I have no clue why he's my bias. He's just perfect, and that's that. There's that. That's it. Like there is no explanation, and sometimes it just hits you like a frying pan to the face.
I think my favorite like 17 unit is China Line.
Mm.
June and Ming Hao, they're like a force to be reckoned with. I love it.
On the
I love them.
vocals too, that it just
It's beautiful.
But I don't know. I can't think of. I mean, I like like other groups like TXT. Fourth gen just hits different. Not gonna lie, like they are achieving a lot of things, which, yes, give credit to where it's due. A lot of older groups helped achieve that, but I definitely think with their concepts and the fact that a lot, well, I say a lot, but it's only a couple that I'm aware of, because as you guys will learn, I have no concept of girl groups. But I definitely think with like, Hong Jun doing covers of Western artists, and the amount of
Numb. No, not numb. Which one was it?
it,
You know the one. The
pretty
one where
sure
he
it was
was wearing a
Numb.
skirt. It wasn't numb?
I'm pretty sure it was Numb, because Linkin Park responded to it, and it made me sad.
Hong
Rip
Jung.
Chester. But I think definitely their concepts have drawn a lot of attention. I mean, like, if you think about it, not to like diss any groups, because all of their concepts are beautiful and they're very well thought out. But if you take a look at like stage presence in regards to props, not actual members, a lot of the fourth gen take into a lot of like props or set designs and everything. And me personally have only really seen that as a continuous factor with BTS. And and it might just be a company thing, because we all know JYP screwed over GOT7, and definitely
They're trying to make, not to go off into another tangent, but did you hear that like since they're not making as much money without GOT7 anymore, they decided to like release like the older albums again?
Of course they did.
Yeah.
How okay, to
So what
continue off the
happened?
tangent, how can they do that? It's not, if I thought GOT7 had copyright over everything.
I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work out, but from what I heard is they're gonna start reprinting more of the older albums to sell. And like a lot of people were upset, from what I understand, is because older GOT7 albums are hard to come by.
Mhm.
And when people were, hey, can you please reprint these and like release more of these, at that point in time they weren't doing it, but now that they're broken, they need money, they're doing it.
Well, I mean,
And
they've got
yeah,
to hold on to something that they are very clearly realizing that they screwed up, which I want to be upset about it, but at the same time I want those albums. So like, I mean, I can't, I don't know. It's the same thing with like buying any Monster X album. Like I really don't want to, because I don't want to give money to Starship, because I don't like them at all. And Starship can at me, I don't care. But
am I
like,
buffering again?
I mean, you're kind of just looking all weird. I thought you were just listening to me, but
Oh, I am, but you kind of like, we're cutting in and out. So I was like, oh, great, I'm buffering again.
oh, and we're all
Yeah.
buffering. That's just a state of being. Um, but I mean, it's the same with pretty much every group that I like that's under their own company except KQ, because I kind of enjoy the way KQ is managing ATs. I don't really think. I think there's some things like in the early days I was like, maybe not.
Sketchy. Yeah.
But I think they've kind of stepped up a little bit. And I mean, the boys aren't necessarily, and I don't really think there's any group that necessarily is going to come out and be like, we're being mistreated, except GOT7, because they talked about it all the time. But I think if it was bad, we wouldn't have seen like the way the Mingy situation went down and everything like that, where it would have been a lot more of like a cover up type thing instead of them being very supportive and announcing like, we think this is the best interest kind of thing, and we want him to be able to take care of himself, which for a very long time in the K-pop industry was like frowned upon, like talking about mental illness and talking about needing to take breaks and things like that. And now it's becoming more normalized, which is good because it needs to be normalized. But this is a very long-winded tangent to say that I'm not upset about JYP releasing GOT7 albums. Anyway, I don't even remember what we were talking about before that.
Me neither.
I don't even know how long we've been going. Maybe it's best.
I think it's been like an hour.
Good luck to me editing tomorrow.
With you editing, and then you gotta send me the file over so I can
I'll get it
do the
transcribed so I can send it over to you. But yeah, before we go into any more tangents about companies, because we can save all of that for another day. Yeah, no, I think it's good. And
I have big opinions on YG, SM. I'm SM trash, but SM the company is the big three. Honestly,
they're not even
like in the top. Honestly, they're really not. Honestly, all the newer companies, they're like,
except some select few, but there's always gonna be some select few.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention the boys, Juyeon. I love that man. And
I forgot Eric Nam.
Eric Nam can get it. Like, he can get it.
I'm just gonna tweet Eric Nam. Check out this podcast episode. Watch till the end so we talk about you. I'm gonna do that. Not that he's gonna see it or respond.
Be like one of those TikTokers, like just wait till the end.
Right.
Just a quick little shout out.
Watch the whole video. It's an hour long, probably closer to an hour and a half because we started at like 8:20 at the latest.
And it's currently 9:40.
All right. I'm gonna call it.
All right.
Cut. I'm a director now. Alrighty. Thanks for listening to us again. I swear to God, it'll get better.
We'll
probably not.
We'll do research on our other topics, just not these ones, because we know what we're talking about.
Yes, though there will definitely be, for the more serious topics, a more laid out, not necessarily script, but a more laid out process, just because those require that. But definitely ranting about men that we're in love with because we're lonely is not a topic that requires scripting. It probably should, though, with Ario's comment earlier.
What? I was zoning out because I was having a thought. I was thinking of how you should end the episode.
And how should I end the episode?
You know that song that goes, I am so lonely?
I don't think I can get away with that because copyright. But you can
Damn.
sing it.
No,
I mean, you already
absolutely
did. Maybe
not.
I'll just splice it, put it on a loop at the end.
No.
You can't stop me. I'm editing it.
Please don't.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.